Okay, everyone, so I got it all hooked up now. Pretty straightforward. You know, network, video, keyboard, mouse, 3 power. One thing I did want to point out is since it is triple redundant and most people don't have, 3 power plug-ins just for one cord or machine, what I did is I made a little tap box out of a bunch of the cables that I had laying around, some of the more heavy-duty ones, the 20 amp ones. And I made this thing that I like to affectionately call the power squid. It's just basically a 3-way tap so that I only took up one spot on the USB or the UPS system. So let's turn it on. So far so good. Shift the monitor over here a little bit. And I bet you this is a good sign. If it was going to fail, it was going to do it by now. Oh, there we go. Look at that. 1999 and counting up to 4 gigabytes of RAM. Pentium 3, Xeon 550, 4 of them. Which means that I got that third one seated in there properly. Gateway. I'm kind of freaking out here because the fans are actually moving around my rather sad looking plant over there, and I'm sort of wondering what's that sound over there. It's just the airflow. It does have an onboard Symbios SCSI system. Don't use it because it can't do RAID. Way back when I had a tape drive hooked up in front there, and that's what I had it hooked to. No supported devices found. There's the Dell Perk 2 RAID controller. Initializing. I went with the Perk 2 because I got it for like $10. So, it's a pretty good deal for what I needed it to do. 80 megabytes of RAM. And I believe I got all 6 drives, all 6 9-gig drives set up in a 43-gig logical volume. But then Windows uses for its boot volume. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. 42.3 gigs. So, like I said, one of the things, the reason I decommissioned this system was quite a few actually. It's big. I mean, this thing's really big. It's really heavy. It's hard to move around. It's hard to work on. It's slow. It's an energy hog. Windows Server 2003. And it's loud. I don't know if you can quite hear the wind noise coming off of this thing, but that's what predominantly the noise is. It's not the SCSI drives. It's just this constant low droning from the fans. But, like I've said in other videos, I love SCSI hard drives, especially when you have a lot of them, because it finally, actually makes it sound like those drives are doing something. I got a funny anecdote about this server. Sometimes you can hear it make a lot of noise, sometimes they flash and you don't hear much. I think boot, everything's at the beginning of the disk, so it doesn't have to crash as much. But anyway, funny anecdote. I had this thing running in my living room for probably 2006 to 2009. And I had a friend of mine, he was staying over and he was camped out on the couch in the living room. I had this tucked away in a closet in the living room. Now, I don't know if that was causing something to do with some harmonics or whatever, but it was doing exactly this. About, midnight. It was doing a Windows update or something like that. And suddenly, my buddy goes to me the next morning. He says, man, the sounds of that thing churning all night was fine, but like, about midnight, it finally kicked in and started making this awful racket. And I'm like, oh, yep, that'd have been all the hard drives going. And there you can hear my clock. It's 7 o'clock. Well, it should be popping up the login screen here soon. There we go. Oh, waiting. See, I haven't really used this thing very much since 2009. I can count on one hand the number of times I've turned it on. Turned it on in 2010 to take some photos for Facebook, and then now here in early 2011, I turned it on yesterday and today to take some video of it. There's the login screen. We're ready to go. So, you know, I'm mostly hanging on to it because it hasn't become inconvenient for me yet. It's, you know, I had this thing for a very long time. You know, I owned it from probably 2004 to 2000, well, now, till 2011, so 6 or 7 years now. And, like I said, it hasn't become so inconvenient that I had to get rid of it. I don't even know how I would get rid of it. It's massive. Heck, I've had girlfriends for shorter periods of time than I had this computer making me money. I've had girlfriends way less than this computer too, so I don't know what that tells you, but there you go. See, now it's really starting to make that noise. And those hard drives in there have a really large heat sink. If you look at, I didn't pull one out, but this is the handle, a big retention handle that slides the hard drive out on this aluminum heat sink on a big platter, and you can slide the whole mechanism out for a hot swap change. You know, running RAID 5, I should theoretically be able to do that. But I think we're ready to try to log in here. Put the camera down for a second here and log in. Put it so you can see that. Oh, nothing failed. There we go. So yeah, there you go. Windows Server 2003. We're running on a Pentium 3 Quad Xeon Gateway server. Try to bring up the properties here for you. And I imagine a lot of stuff on here is going to be unhappy because I haven't updated it in a long time. Probably can't read that. There you go. Well, thanks for watching.